Welcome everybody to, I guess this is our first official Not Safe for Wonks YouTube video. That's right.
All that shit. Yeah.
You can see all of our lovely faces, at least hopefully. I don't know how this is actually going to be put together.
Yeah, the shit's gonna happen. It's gonna look decent, hopefully.
Hopefully,
if it doesn't,
get it working. I mean,
if it doesn't, go ahead.
Hopefully you don't. But if you remember our first podcast episode, that was terrible, absolutely terrible.
So anyway,
so it's going to get better over time.
Too many platitudes and get into the point.
Yeah.
We're here today to talk about Pete Buttigieg and Joe Biden battling for Iowa's senior population.
The first thing you got to understand is if you have social media, it's over. If you're Buttigieg or Biden, if you have Twitter, it's over. They've all been chased off Twitter. Facebook, they found them on Facebook. They chased them off there. If you and Bernie has so many people.
MySpace too.
Yeah, MySpace. There was a lot of Biden fans on MySpace. They're not there no more. And Bernie has so many people canvassing that if you can physically answer your door, you are too old to be voting for Joe Biden. So they're really like they come out on wheelers once in a while and they pop out. But listen, it's a caucus, and like we're joking, ha ha ha, they're old, and that's funny. But those people consistently are the ones who show up to actually vote and do caucusing and show up to shit. So it's not a done deal by any means, and it's possible that like the old people could turn the tide. So
we have to do an episode about how caucuses work and how primaries work, because it's this whole Byzantine system of like standing in a room and going to specific places in the room for your candidate, and it's
a party
bizarre.
Game.
It's a party game.
They're playing Clue to decide
who has political musical chairs, except it's musical chairs, but it decides the fate of the country for the next 4 years.
Or like y'all remember Big Wind Blows from college? That's what this is.
We should get all the people who are running for president and get them all to play Duck Duck Goose. And then, and then the winner, you get to go and take on Trump.
Joe Biden would love that. He's always talking about how he wants to,
do push-ups.
Yeah, do push-ups.
Calisthenics.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's run a circle. I'll run so good.
Hey, really. So what are they doing? What are they doing to reach these older Americans? Is it policy? Is it something else? What are they doing?
Well, so apparently, like, they're just doing, like, tons of rallies in, like, shitty who the fuck would care normally.
Pierre, Iowa.
Like, the only reason people care about towns like Perry, Iowa at all is because of our completely ridiculous system with these early voting states.
There's no reason that Iowa should be the first one. No. There's no reason that it should be receiving all of this fucking attention.
No.
It's completely arbitrary. It comes from nowhere. It comes from no reason. And since they have it and they get that amount of attention and they get all those advertisements and shit spent in the state and it, goes across the local areas, they're never going to change it because they're going to fight and do everything they can. And
they're just used to getting what they want now.
Yeah.
And if somebody points this out to like say Liz Warren, she gets like really offended.
I'm just a player in the game.
Leave Iowa alone. Yeah, so it is what it is.
Iowa did nothing wrong. # free Iowa.
Free Iowa. They're both, Pete, you wouldn't think has pull, has clout with people who are 70 years old, but they like him. He's like the inverse Bernie. Like he's speaking to their values. Like in the way that Bernie...
It was said on Twitter, but like Buttigieg is what all of the boomers think that millennials should be like, and Bernie is what all of the millennials think that boomers should be like.
Right. That sounds completely true and accurate and real.
Like he's the twinkle-eyed, young, starry-eyed fucking young mayor.
I did all the things and I made it.
Who has the resume, who pulled himself up by his bootstraps and has the braveness to tell the American people, fuck you. You don't deserve anything.
I think you're confusing him with Klobuchar. Klobuchar is really the the bravery to tell America, go fuck yourself. That's
Well, Buttigieg hides it with flowery rhetoric.
Buttigieg thinks people should be able to have a little health care as a treat.
Yeah.
America,
A little change.
America, I know what you deserve. I know what we deserve, and I know what we have built as a society. And what we deserve is nothing. My fellow Americans.
Joe, obviously, I think he's having a little problems locking. Well, what's helped him in locking down the older people vote is everybody has been shitting on him for being a dusty, decrepit old dude. So all the old people are like, we're not too old. These whippersnappers with all their malarkey, and we're tired of it. We've got to fight back, and like they're rallying to defend him because like nobody wants to be told like somebody that looks like you, oh, you're an old piece of shit. Retire, go home. Like a person at that age, he's stubborn. He's sticking with it. He's rocking with it. And they, they're not sure who the boomers are going to break for. There are obviously some Klobuchar boomers that are still hanging on.
Oh god, Klobuchar boomers are the only reason that Klobuchar is still
anything. Of course, it's just seniors. So given all that, it's up in the air. It's just a personality contest. I don't know. Who do y'all think has the better personality? I think Biden has the better personality between him and Pete.
You know, I'm actually starting to suspect that Pete's campaign exists to prop Biden up. Because the longer that Pete's on stage, the more I'm like, maybe Joe Biden isn't the worst choice. Whereas before, I was definitely like, early in the primary, I was like, definitely like, Joe Biden is the worst choice we could make. Now I'm like, maybe that's Pete.
Because the problem is that Joe Biden is probably going to slip on a banana peel in the Oval Office and die in his like third year. But Pete Buttigieg, he's young. He's going to be around forever. And if you let him into that office, he will never fucking shut up.
Here's the thing. I think Buttigieg actually has a little better policy when you break it down between the two. But he's so robotic that I think people are just going to rebel against him. Whereas Biden, like, people get mad at Biden for being a prick. I would rather have somebody that, like, is at town hall, shut up, you're fat, let's do some push-ups. Like, I'm more interested in that than, like, everyone deserves to have optimized healthcare solutions, and when we go to the marketplace and have the freedom of choice and diversity, I'd rather just have a goofy blowhard, because at least, like, I'm in the content business, baby. Like, Joe Biden, he's an idiot, but, like, he's content. So you old people, rally around the Aviator Shades guy one more time, and we'll deal with him after Iowa, I guess.
No.
I mean, I just think that he's more of a known quantity, whereas Pete at this point has such an untrustworthiness to him. Like, South Bend doesn't seem to like him. He has all of this, like, sketchy work with McKinsey, with the intelligence community. Like, who wants that? You know, like,
he just screams the Smiler from Transmetropolitan.
Joe Biden's been in our faces forever. We know who he is. We know exactly what the fuck we're gonna get. So ultimately, if you put me in a room and make me choose one of the two, I don't know. I might lean Biden, and that's so weird.
I'm writing in Kamala. I'm going back to the K-Hive. We're digging up the queen.
I'm getting Gillibrand back in this.
Oh God, okay, fine.
I didn't even wear my Gillibrand shirt today, but I'll wear that next video.
Oh my God, that will be.
I forgot that you got that.
We can admire the fabric quality right up close and personal. It'll be rad.
Ultimately, though, where I really want to end this video is actually one of the interesting things about the Bernie 2020 phenomenon is that because all this time has passed and all this organization has gotten done, a lot of people who are supporting Bernie are more politically educated than they were in 2016, and possibly just more politically educated than a lot of your average voters.
Right.
Therefore, I know for a fact that there are Bernie people planning to get in those Iowa caucuses and change this stuff and like make sure that there are more people caucusing, more people acting as delegates than there ever have been in these states. So I think that, you know, there is like an unspoken kind of like in these media fluff pieces about Buttigieg and Biden, they're never talking about Bernie, but they're also never talking about Bernie's like lanes that are outside of how these people are even thinking.
I mean, if you remember Iowa in 2016, Hillary only won by like 0.15, and Bernie outperformed polls by like 5 or 10%. So there's definitely going to be an unprecedented, like, it's not going to go the way polls expect. And even with that, there's recent polling that shows that like 60% of Bernie voters are committed to Bernie, rather than like 30% for most of the rest of the candidates.
72% of Bernie voters.
Right.
It's just like wild, and it's like 30% above the next person. You know?
Yeah.
Bernie voters already know what the arguments are. They're on Twitter all the time. They've gone through all the posts. So it's really just a matter of getting over their crippling insecurity of human interaction and their crippling fear of other people, and just going and articulating those arguments. Because they're hard arguments to beat in a prolonged conversation, especially, Ale, I know this is one of your favorite topics. Neoliberalism has no articulate alternative to what's actually going on. So if you are approaching these problems from like a left-wing perspective, there's like the full fascist reactionary argument, but the thing that's in the middle like can't hold. It's not like, people have seen it from the 90s and the 80s. So people who are still on that, it can't really last in an argument anymore.
Yeah. You know, people are tired of the consensus that we've had for the past 30, 40 years.
We can be talking about this shit in a whole new way in like 30 days from now. So it's an important month if you're interested in actually like moving the needle.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, with that, I think that we've had a good little riff on some dumbass news.
Yeah.
As always, we are not safe for wonks. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
See ya.